You doing good?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good.
Can you tell me your first and last name, where you guys are, the name of the place, and then just talk about the academy some, what you guys do there?
Sure. My name is Carlos Ruiz. I'm the owner and operator here at 10th Planet Houston. We are in downtown Houston, East downtown actually. But we
I love
offer,
Houston, actually. It's a
yeah, it's
good
a great
family
city.
like vacation.
It's a great
Yeah.
vibe out here. There's a lot going on, especially right now with the World Cup happening and all that. There's a lot of there's a lot of everything right now out there. But yeah, but it's a great city. It's a
So
great city.
they got the kids museum. That place is so cool.
They have a bunch. They got the zoo, kids museums. We're in the
Mhm.
theater district, so there's a lot. There's a lot happening out here right now. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I
fun. It's
love
fun
the
to be
zoo
part
there. It's
of.
a really nice zoo.
Yeah.
So what do you guys offer there? Of course, do you do only no gi? Is that what you do?
Yeah. So we offer no gi jujitsu, 10 planet system. So we offer some wrestling as well. It's incorporated into our jujitsu. So wrestling and jujitsu. We've only been open 6 months. So further down the line, we plan on offering kickboxing, maybe a little MMA. Right now, we're in the growing stages of jujitsu.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. What about like what kind of things do you implement from wrestling? Is it kind of like the whole uh everything about wrestling, or is it parts of wrestling that you implement?
Yeah. So it's wrestling for jujitsu. So it's a
Mm-mm.
couple transitions, snapping down into maybe taking our opponent down, uh, arm dragging to get to the back, little combinations just to get to the back. But it's not definitely not as rigorous as regular wrestling, collegiate wrestling, and all that.
I mean, like, so I hear a lot of people implementing wrestling, and of course it makes sense. Everybody, I ask why, and then everybody tells me. I wonder if, like, are these things that are being implemented just going to be become a part of jujitsu one day, or is that kind of a silly assumption? Does that make
Uh,
sense?
yeah, I think every school kind of just um, characterizes not what it's weak at, but it characterizes like what needs work. So especially in jujitsu nowadays, you'll see the evolution of certain things, the evolution of leg locks, people getting real hip to leg locks, and then you'll see people exclusively doing leg locks. So that could mean somebody just pulling guard or something like that. Um, and then that kind of creates a gap. You lose interest in wrestling,
Yeah.
and people start pulling leg locks. Um, so same thing for people who just pull guard or people who. So it needs to be well rounded. You need to be a good wrestler, and you need to be able to defend and do leg locks as well. So um, leg locks are shown, throughout the curriculum. Wrestling isn't. So we devote a day to just wrestling, you know, whether it's defending or just
Mm.
knowing how to wrestle, being good on your feet. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I guess that's just kind of like what it's labeled as at this time. Um, Implementing things from wrestling, and maybe one day it'll be labeled something else. But whatever it is, it's effective, and that's why it's being implemented, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Correct. Correct.
what is your like? What is your kind of like your overall like philosophy in teaching jujitsu? Do you have like some opinions on like the methodology of teaching jujitsu? I mean, of course,
Uh,
one being your 10th planet, so I guess that's part of it, right? Something you
yeah. I
believe
think
in.
uh, I think all jujitsu is kind of built from the bottom up, right? Like as far as you working your fundamentals, uh, all the way to like you being able to get up from being on the ground, being able to stand back up to your feet. So um,
Mm.
so just being able to build from the bottom, I would think, and that there's a lot in that, not just like, oh, this is the move itself, because certain things, you get stuck. Certain things like I can't do this. So there's some mental pressure there as well, right? Some frustration and things that you have to deal with while you're trying to physically deal with it. So it shows you it shows you how to deal with things on different levels. You know, not just a specific move because you're gonna get frustrated
I understand what you're saying.
and there'll
Yeah.
be yeah. So so just that concept and applying that to whatever, however you teach, or just when you talk to someone, just helping them understand that things are gonna get hard. There's always gonna be, a certain way of doing things that, to help you get better. And every time someone shows the class and whatever it is we're showing or however it is you're helping them, trying to help them see that, you know. That's ultimately the goal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do y'all, what's like the youngest age that you guys teach?
We started them off at around 5 years old. There's a small kids
Five.
program.
Mm,
And that goes up to around 9 years old, 5 to 9 year olds. And then we have a program for 10 year olds all the way up to around 15 year olds. But who knows? Because
got it.
nowadays, 15 year olds get pretty big. 15 year olds are adults pretty quick.
I think so. Yeah. What I always ask this, it's kind of interesting. Like, what is the oldest person you've ever had at the academy? Oldest?
So here, we've only been open here 6 months. So right now, we currently our oldest members of, I believe, 54.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I'm always kind of interested to see like the highest number we can get. Uh, some of our viewers
but I,
are older and kind of
but
interested.
I trained at,
Yeah, I think
I got my black belt. So we're in Houston. We're 10 Planet Houston, but I got my black belt in 10 Planet New Caney, which is about 40 minutes north of here. And
mm,
in my time there, I had a gentleman who approached me who wanted to start learning jujitsu. He took some privates because he didn't want to just hop in, but he was, I think, 73 at the time. He was
73. Got it.
73. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I always ask that
and
just
he was
like the
fresh to
viewers
jujitsu.
who are just interested in that. What'd you say?
Oh yeah, for sure. He was fresh to jujitsu too. I mean, he had experience in other martial arts, but it's never too late. It's never too late to want to learn new things.
Can you take us back to, kind of like when you started jujitsu and like why did you start and what was that like and why did you continue it and just lead us up to
Yeah,
like kind of the story of where you are now.
yeah. So I was like in my mid early 30s actually. Um, and my kids were around they're around 6 years old, something like that. And they started getting they started having their interests as far as sports, and my son started playing little league football and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
remember me as a kid, I took taekwondo and I just liked it. I liked it. I don't honestly, I don't remember why I started taekwondo. I think I said I wanted to go. Um, but when my kids said they wanted to play school sports, I was like, man, he's gonna need to know some how to defend himself. Something was to happen on the field, something, that split decision, that split second, you're gonna need to at least know how to handle yourself. Maybe not hurt him, but at least know what to do, you know? And
Control the situation. Yeah.
yeah, control the situation, exactly. And so I took them first. I took my kids to jiu-jitsu. Um and yeah, I remember at the time I was listening to a podcast. I can say people's names and stuff on here, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
right. Oh yeah. I listened to Joey Diaz. Right, he's got a podcast, and I remember at the time at the time when I was considering putting him in jujitsu, I was listening to him, and he's a motivator. He's a comedian, right? But he motivates people in his podcast. And around that time, he was talking about jujitsu and Eddie Bravo and this and that. And then from one day he was like, "I'm gonna join jujitsu." And then I was like, "Man, if this guy can join jujitsu," I was like, "I'm gonna join jujitsu." Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but I had already enrolled my kids. I had already enrolled my kids, and they were going for. They had already been going for about a month. But then Joey Diaz signed up, and I was like, man, I'm gonna try it. Plus, the guys at the academy were like, you should try it. You should try it. And classic,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I'm too old. I'm too old. I'm 30 something. And then everybody
Yeah.
starts telling you, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50. And
Yeah.
then one thing led to another. And before you know it, me and this other guy are just headlocking each other for, 4 minutes and not knowing what we were doing day one. But it was fun. It's fun. And I
What
fell in
was
love
it
with it
like
as soon
when
as
you
my
actually did it as a 30 something years old? I mean, did you still have that feeling that, "Oh, this is something I can't do," or did you feel like, this is doable, or what was your body feeling at that time?
luckily my wife, at the time when we put our kids in, my wife said, "Hey, you know what?" Yeah, 'cause, yeah, women always same thing. You think I'm fat? And I was like, "No, I don't think you're fat." And but they want you to say, "Hey, let's go work out. Let's do something. Let's something." You know, um, but she's the one that said, "I want to start the gym. You want to come with me?" So I started working
Mm,
out with her. I started working out with her for about a month before I actually did jujitsu. And
mhm.
so had I not done that, I probably would have kicked my butt a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I felt pretty good, and I was 30. Uh, I'm 46 right now, so I feel it a little bit more than when I was 30. When you're 30, you're not in your prime anymore, but you're still you're still fairly young. Um, but
I kinda always
but yeah,
think
no,
of
I felt good.
jujitsu in a way like swimming, like, you're using your whole body. Of course, there's more pain, of course, but, I mean, it's not like you're punching somebody in jujitsu specifically. You're not kicking, you're not, lifting weights. I don't know, it's just kind of like it seems like it's just more accessible for any age because of the, I mean, you could also kinda roll with the person that kinda you like the most or whatever, kinda like, as far as, how much pressure they're putting or whatever. It seems like it's just like it's doable, right? As far as, the
Yeah, for
physicalness
sure.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. Yeah, I like it because you can make it as doable as you want. Like you can add as much resistance as you want, or you can take away as much. You can make it as intense as you want, or you can make it, very light, something you can show, an elderly person.
Mm,
I
mm,
like it. I mean, I think it's great. Yeah.
mhm. So when you're like, especially now, like, sorry, another side shoot question here, but like, especially now that you really know what you're doing, of course, I mean, does it feel kind of like going for a run in a sense? Um, it's not like you're getting bruised up like constantly. It's kind of like a good workout. Is that what it becomes pretty fast? Like it feels like a good workout instead of just getting beat up, or how long does it take for it to get to that point? I guess like as a white belt when you first start, you're like resisting more, of course, and you're getting hurt more, or it hurts more, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's more mistakes in the beginning, definitely. So you're
Mm.
getting caught more. So things are happening. You're having to submit. Sometimes you're tapping late, or sometimes you have strong opponents, and so you're waking up the next day. And you're like, man, my elbows hurt, my this hurts.
Yeah.
It still happens as you get older. I mean,
Okay.
as you get older in age, it happens more. But as
Mhm.
you mature in rank, I guess it is more of a cardio type deal. It is more cardio because you're more aware of like what to do and what not to do. Um, but there's
Mhm.
still submissions, definitely. It's
Yeah.
maybe just that there's less submissions. There's less. Um, so yeah, it is a good workout. But there's still that like when I run,
Element
it's
of
just
pain.
something constant. Yeah, it's something constant.
Mm.
I know it's coming. I know it's a 6 minute run. I know I may push myself and lower it, but things happen on the fly on the mats, like things that you don't
Yeah.
expect. You're expecting it to go one way, and you could be attacking, and then all of a sudden you could be in danger. you could be in danger the whole match. You could be fighting, it's kind of like you can't dictate the pace. If you're in trouble, you may panic. If you're controlling, you have time to take it easy and think about, you
Mhm.
know. So it's kind of like an on and off switch. So it is good,
I
but
get what you're saying.
a run, I can dictate the pace on a run. I can't always dictate it on a roll. If it's someone lower level than you, you can dictate the pace. But when someone's matched or they're around your skill level, things can get quick pretty quick.
Got it, got
Yeah.
it. Alright, so go ahead and take us so, like, when did you start, teaching that kinda thing?
So since I got involved, as soon as I put my kids in, I was all in. Like that was our afternoons. So
Mm,
I would go, and then sometimes they would say, "Hey, do you wanna help with the kids?" And not so much as helping,
mhm.
just so much as like sometimes when it's a bunch of kids, you have to like, "Hey, like listen to what professor's saying," like just keep them in
Yeah, yeah,
line, you know?
yeah,
And then you'll help them with little things like, "Oh, make sure you're whatever, make sure you're grabbing the elbow, make sure you're doing this, or make sure"
yeah,
little things. Not so much giving the technique, but just making sure they're doing little details and stuff like that. Um,
mhm.
so very early I started like and then my own kids, as soon as we yeah, jujitsu's always been a thing, like a topic of discussion at the house. As soon as I get home, sometimes as soon as I get home and my son gets home from work, he's like, "Let me show you something," and he'll start to
Okay.
show me, move right there in the kitchen floor, or he'll run in my bed when I'm trying to go to sleep, and he's like, "Let me practice something." Uh, so
Yeah,
it's always something we do. But
that's good to have that, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So ever since they were little, it's always been Jiu-jitsu's always been like a topic of discussion. And
Cool.
I've always seen it kind of like, I want to show you something, I want to show you what I know. So as far
Mhm.
as when I officially started teaching, mm, it's been a while. I say I started teaching once I was like 5 or 6 years into jujitsu, somewhere around
Mhm.
late blue belt, early purple belt, something around there. I was mainly
Mhm.
teaching a lot of kids and then adolescents and then adults, um, and then eventually picking up adult class. So somewhere around brown belt, I started teaching adult classes.
And what in the world made you wanna
And
open up an academy one day? Why did you have that feeling?
we started out in New Caney. Um, I found my good friend Lonnie Vickery, who runs Tim Planet New Caney, and and we ended up merging. I opened up a gym, a fitness gym in the small town right next to New Caney, which is Porter. Um, and he ran his jujitsu school out in New Caney. Um,
Mhm.
before it was Ten Planet. He got affiliated with Ten Planet later, but when he started, he was under Meathead MMA, his own gym, and I found him because he was doing the Ten Planet system, even though he wasn't an official Ten Planet school. He was working the Ten Planet system. Um, and he was closer to me. So I started working, I started training with Lonnie, and then I opened up a fitness gym in Porter, and then we ended up just merging them both together. So we have at New Caney, we have a fitness facility and we have a jujitsu gym inside. So I run the
Okay.
fitness gym over there, and he runs the jujitsu.
Got it,
And
got it, got it.
and that's where we got our black belts about a year
Mhm.
ago, a little bit over a year ago. We got our black belts. And but when we were there, the goal had always been eventually his students would branch out. You know,
Mhm.
they'd move out, and some are from Crosby, and there's discussion. Just spreading out to your own town, trying to spread 10th Planet. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and Houston's always been a topic of like, hey, it's a major city. Why doesn't Houston have a 10th planet? There's San Antonio, there's Dallas,
Yeah.
there's Austin, there's everywhere else except Houston. They're like, why? And
Yeah,
we're in the
yeah.
area, so we're like, why not? We're we're the closest ones, so it's up to us. Uh,
What do you like about 10th Planet?
Yeah,
The system.
you know, I really like that. And I've never trained gi. It's a lot of guys say, "Oh yeah, I gave up the gi and I went no gi because I prefer it." I started in no gi not because I didn't go look for it, but when I first signed my kids up, it was no gi jujitsu. Luckily, and it
Mm,
wasn't 10 Planet. It was under a Team Took affiliation. Um, it's called McCusker MMA. But all he did was no gi. So they grew up in Nogi and they did their first like year and a half of training in Nogi.
mhm.
And then we moved over to 10 Planet, which is strictly Nogi. So I've never trained in the gi.
It's like all you ever
I've never
knew,
trained
right?
in the gi. Yeah, it's all we ever knew. So um yeah, so we grew up in 10 Planet and I loved it. I love the 10 Planet flavor. Like you see the strictness of other academies. And I just love
Yeah.
how it is free. We're free to practice what we like. There's no like rigid curriculum. This is what we're studying, and this is exactly how you do the move. We all kind of
Mm,
give our 2 cents, and things just keep happening. Even at
yeah.
the very upper levels, even with Eddie Bravo, you see it. You see you see jujitsu evolving all the time. The move that we're doing right now isn't the move that we'll be doing, 3 years from now, and it's not the one that
Mm,
we did 3 years ago. So
mhm,
it
mhm.
just keeps changing. That's what's cool about it. That's what I like about it.
What do you think, I mean, what do you think that, jujitsu has done for your life? You know, what's the biggest thing that it's done for your life, your personal life?
Um, so for me, I think just like anyone else, like people who come here, um, like everybody has their own reasons for coming, right? Um, I think I think what jujitsu does is like it shows you how to deal with situations, uncomfortable situations, and it shows you how to handle it, how to like take your time. This is what you need to do to deal with it, right? And then eventually
Mhm.
you get good and you get quick at dealing with it and making those decisions. Um, and
Okay, yeah.
it just shows you how to apply that in your everyday life, and everything that you're doing. It shows you how to use that. Maybe it's not going to be the exact same form, but what you end up doing throughout the day is that problem solving under a certain amount of pressure. Some things will be easy, some things will be hard, but how you deal with it is what you're gonna get out of jujitsu, I think.
Mm-mm. Kinda like, teaches you
Yeah.
how to methodically get through a situation. It can eventually
Yeah,
teach
yeah,
you how to
yeah.
do that at a quick pace. Yeah.
Right. Or
Um,
see it before something happens. Yeah.
mhm, mhm. Well, thank you so much, man, for your cool story. Can you, to wrap it up, can you tell, what would you like to tell your community there at 10th Planet Houston at the Academy? Is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Man, keep training. Some days the training is great. Some days it feels like you're falling behind. Stay on the mats. There's all kind of lessons to learn on the mats and that'll help you. And man, I hope one day we run into each other. Hope one day we can see each other and do a roll or something.
Yeah. You talking about me?
Everybody, everybody.
Everybody. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing you just said that, yeah, falling behind, that kinda made me think of life, right? Like, that's that, um, that's life, when whatever you're working on, a lot of times it's just like a, uh, 1 step back, 2 step forward, 3 steps back,
Yeah.
2 step forward, whatever, that kinda
Yeah.
thing, right? Yeah.
Projects you have going on, plans and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Are y'all on social media? I know you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
On
Yeah,
YouTube as
10
well? Cool,
PHT.
man. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for
yeah,
bringing 10th
10
Planet to
PHT.
Houston. You did that. So good job.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hey, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I can't believe it's been this long since, that it took for 10th Planet to be in Houston. That's kinda crazy. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, all
Um,
right.
well, thank you, man. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll reach back out, again, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Cody.
Alright. See you, buddy.
Talk to you
Take
later.
care.
All right.
Hey, how's it going, you guys? You doing
Well,
alright?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Doing really good, man. Where are you guys at? You're in Texas, right?
Yeah, we're in Springs. We're like North Houston, like Spring Woodlands area is where we're at.
Okay, okay. I just had 10th Planet Houston on just a while ago. I was talking to him about I love Houston, actually. I've never lived in Houston, but we're in Pensacola, Florida, so, like, 7, 8 hours away. We took a Texas trip 2018, and we went to Houston, Austin, Dallas, everywhere. Um, but Houston was my favorite. It has so much to do for kids.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of restaurants. My wife is Vietnamese, so Asian restaurants galore, and
yeah,
So
um, the
yeah,
uh,
we
the the
wait.
museum, the kids museum there.
yeah. And I think for Houston, one of everyone's favorite pastime is definitely food.
Yeah.
Food,
It has to
beer,
be.
Yeah.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it. It's definitely a
So
culinary experience.
when we first were planning on going there, that was our first thought. We knew the food was there, and but then we started looking into of course, I'm like family things to do in Houston. Oh man, so many popped up. We even went to like the Astro Stadium, like a tour. Um, we did the Sam Houston boat tour there.
Oh,
We did, what else? The zoo, of course. There's like 3 other things. The waterfall. Anyways, I like Houston. Um, can you tell me your first and last names and then the name of the academy?
I'm
And then just
Michael.
talk about the academy some?
Yeah, I'm Michael Torres,
I'm Maggie Torres.
and our academy is Torres Jiu-Jitsu.
We're very creative with that name,
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I swear to you, I have no idea why I kept thinking, and I just didn't, do the research, but why Torres? That's a name, of course, I don't know why for the past week, I'm thinking, "Is that the city? Is that the what is that?" Like, in
yeah.
the
I
back of
think
my
some of our
mind,
kids
duh.
even have that same dilemma because I'll be like, "You, what does that name say on the wall?" And they're like, "Torres Jiu-Jitsu." Who's Torres? They're like, "I don't know."
They're
Like,
like, "You're
are
Coach
you
Mike." I
serious?
don't know.
I'm like, are you serious right now?
You're like, "Who's Torres?" "You're Coach Mike." I don't know who that
Like,
It's
you
is.
so
just Coach
funny,
Mike.
man.
Okay.
Can y'all tell me what you guys offer there?
We offer Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes for all ages, 4 to 6, 7 to 13, and adult classes. We also do no gi, gi competition training.
Women's only, also.
Yeah, we also have women's only training, and then
Women's only as well, okay, cool.
yeah,
I
that's right.
kinda ask this a lot, like, do you when you have women's training you have women's only, do you have a lot of women starting out in, like, the co-ed and then going to women's only, or going from women's only to the co-ed, or what is
No.
there? Is there movement there at all?
I hear a lot of people talk about this and they say it's a good way for women to get their foot in the door, but we've always had so many women in our regular classes that it kind of turned into just we just want to hang out and train without the guys. And so that's
Yeah.
sort of what it turned
Yeah,
into. And then we'll slowly bring other women in as well. But yeah, most of the women that train in our women's only class, they train in the regular classes throughout the week. So we've had classes where the split's like 50-50 men and women. And so that's pretty cool.
yeah, got it, got it, got it. So it's just there to kinda, if they want something a little maybe they're more comfortable with that to start out with, that kinda thing, and then you can go from wherever, after that.
Yeah.
That's cool to have that. What is the oldest person you've ever had at the academy? I always ask that because some people are wondering, it's kinda cool to
I
point
don't
that
want
out
to
all the
name
time.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I don't want to name names. No,
The
No
oldest
names,
person.
just say a
Yeah.
number.
I want to say 58. I think he's 58, but it's
no.
actually I have my first 3 black belts that I promoted, which I promoted recently. One of them is 26. He's my first one. He's been with me since he was like 18 or 17. And then my second and third one is this couple named Tommy and Kaz,
They're awesome.
and they're both in their 50s, and those are my second and third black belts that I've ever promoted.
Got
I'm
it.
actually really like proud of that because I find them so inspirational
Yeah,
for
they're incredible. They're beating up all the young people. It's amazing.
yeah.
Cool,
So
cool,
they're
cool.
very, very inspiring people.
A lot of times in the stories, like the owners themselves will say that, when I first started jujitsu, I was like 30 something and I thought I was too old, or 40 something and I thought I was too old. And so like I kind of like to lead off with that a lot of times in the podcast so that people who have no idea can hear that right off the bat, that
Yeah.
the age is not enough. I mean, the oldest I think is 78 or 80 something that I've heard. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then, I think they started when they were in their 40s, but honestly, a lot of our students, I would say the majority of our adult program is over the age of,
Probably
like,
40.
35.
Yeah.
I would say over 35 to 4 years old, so I think it's a pretty common misconception that a lot of, older adults, they think that they may be too old or something, or maybe, like, life is leaving them at 35 years old, and I'm like, "Are you kidding
Or they're
me?"
afraid of getting injured or
Yeah,
things like that.
and
Yeah.
it's,
yeah, I think that's a benefit of jujitsu. That's why I always want to point out, yeah, that
yeah,
age is not a thing, not really at all. I mean, injuries is a thing, like ailments is a thing, of course, but age alone, it's not. And sometimes I get into a little bit like, why is that the case? I mean, I guess it has different reasons, like, you know, the amount of pressure you're applying to the other person. Maybe it's reciprocal. I don't know. I guess it just depends. The person you choose to roll with, all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of doable for almost anybody, right?
yeah, I think it's a different mindset. It's a much more mature mindset as well because compared to say you get somebody who's 18 to 26 or 25, they have a very competitive, they're still learning more emotional control. Their egos are still a big part of their life and they haven't quite gotten a hand on how to check their ego or keep the ego in check. Whereas you have older adults, life is life. Like life happens, they've dealt with all types of things in their life at that point, children, career, whatever it may be, but they come in with a much different mature mindset
Yeah.
and it makes for a great culture.
If you've dealt with multiple children and you've survived like the 3 to 4 age, like jujitsu is nothing for you. Like you're gonna be fine.
Okay, got it. Right, right, right. Um, do y'all have like a kind of, I know you do because everybody does, but what is your overall kind of philosophy on like the methodology of how you teach jujitsu
Right.
or running in the academy itself?
It's a challenging program. Not I don't say that to scare people off, but I think the idea of martial arts is to push people beyond their comfort zone, and I think it's already really uncomfortable when people come into an academy for the first time because you're having to have such close physical contact with people. But for me as an instructor, somebody who's been doing this for a really long time, um, I really pushed my role as a coach and mentoring people, but pushing people beyond what they think their own limitations are. So the training is not necessarily easy, or nor do I really dial back the training. I just encourage and push people to maybe work a little bit harder than what they think they can do. And I think they find that they surprise themselves and they really enjoy that push. I think that's kind of something that we've developed in our gym where it's like we have a really good culture of people in our academy, but at the same time, we're an academy that works really hard. We're a gym that trains hard,
Yeah.
and safe.
And I like that it's created sort of a culture too where one of my favorite things about training is we'll be doing these kind of like speed rounds and it's really hard because we've just done an hour of rolling, we've done all this drilling and everybody's tired and then we're all of a sudden we're ending with these speed rounds. You have to do a minute of this like activity just over and over again and you're exhausted. And I love now how often I'm hearing like other students telling other students, "Okay, you got this. You only have 30 seconds left. You only have 15 seconds left." Like it's created this culture where everybody's extremely supportive of each other and they just don't let each other quit. And I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you've hit on something that we've talked about, but like to a different degree, as far as like, sounds like you have a big thing about like pushing people a little further. But that is the essence of why jujitsu is affecting people's lives, I believe, is because of the pressure and the pain, the uncomfortableness of the situation is helping them change their, the chemicals in their brains or whatever, right? So you're just trying to take that to the next degree. Yeah, a little further. Yeah,
Definitely.
cool. Um, would you start as far back as you would like and tell me, how you guys got into jujitsu, like the whole story there and why you loved it so much and now you own there must be a certain reason why
Do
you
it.
own an academy.
Yeah, I'll start
You go.
first, because I kinda how it
2 years
starts.
old.
I was like 19 20. No, I was about 20 years old. It started in about 2010. And I was in the military, so I joined the army when I was 18 years old, and then I got introduced into jujitsu when I was about 19, 20 years old. And honestly, I just from the very first class, I kind of just fell in love with it. It gave me a different like type of challenge or a type of feeling that maybe I was missing for a really long time. Um, and when I started training jujitsu, it improved my health already. And when I say health, like when I was 20 years old, I was very hot-headed. I was fiery. I wouldn't listen to people. I was already getting in trouble when I was in the army at a really young age. And my squad leader actually introduced me to it because his neighbor conveniently was a black belt and just opened up an academy. So he invited me to the gym. I had took my first class. I loved it. And then every day, my squad leader, my friend now, would pick me up and bring me to the classes with him. And that's kind of how my jiu-jitsu journey started. And
Mm.
then a couple years later, I got stationed in South Korea, and that's where I met my wife.
Yeah. So I started jujitsu in South Korea. I've been playing rugby since I was a kid. And I was starting to realize I was like, "Ooh, I think I'm getting kind of to the end of my rugby career." It was just very hard on my body. I need something else to do.
How
I
old
did
were you at that point?
not that old, just what was I, 20, probably only 26.
26.
I just
Yeah.
played really hard, had really lived life really hard.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I actually had a rugby teammate at the time. It was incredible. And she kept saying, "You need to try jujitsu. You're going to love it." And I was like, "No, no, no." And then finally she was like, "Yeah, you're right. You would be really bad at it." And I was like, "What? I'm not gonna be bad at it." It was reverse psychology. So it worked on me. And I was the opposite from him. Actually, I hated jujitsu when I first started it. Um, I didn't understand it. I was at a point in my life where I didn't like feeling dumb. I didn't like not knowing things. Now I really love being a beginner. But
Mm.
at the time I was like, I don't understand this. This is really hard. Everybody's picking this up really quickly. They can have things explained to them and I have to see it. Like I'm a bit of a meathead. So like you have to put me in the position that you want me to kind of figure out, at least at the time. And that I think that's why I became obsessed with it, because I was so bad when I started for so long that I was like, okay, I have to get better at this. And I had a really good coach, luckily, named Chris Kim. And I started training on an army base, and every day they would sign me in to train, and every day I would go back and teach. And I was a teacher there and a rugby coach at the time. And it just got to a point where like I felt like I wasn't even there to teach anymore. I felt like I was literally just in South Korea to train jujitsu, and I was obsessed with it. And we would go on the weekends. And I actually met Mike at a jujitsu tournament in South Korea. He left us with his giant narcoleptic friend and made us carry him through the streets of Seoul, which is another story. But uh, I saw he had cauliflower ears, and at first I thought maybe he played rugby or something. But then I looked at it and I was like, well, this must be a person who's really dedicated to what they do. So this is really cool. I want to know this person, get to know them a little bit better. And we started dating, we started training there, moved back to the US, and there's a lot in between,
Yeah,
but
there's a
then
lot.
just decided to open a
Yeah,
gym.
there's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, we came back to Houston, and then came back to Houston in
It's
2016.
2016.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2016, and then
Yeah.
I started training with Travis Took, who's my professor. He gave me my black belt. And he kind of gave me a job to teach classes and to do enrollments, and he kind of took me under his wing. He brought me to like marketing seminars. He was my mentor. He still is my mentor. We have conversations quite a bit about business and how to run an academy, but he's a big contribution to, my, I wouldn't say success, but my working towards success academy. You know,
Wow.
I so it's been quite the journey for us.
What like, at this point, you like, jujitsu is a part of your lives by now, and so why is that the case? Why did you guys love it so much? Maggie, I heard what you said about, it was like, you you wanted to figure it out, and it was bothering you, that kind of thing, and, that was a big part of it, right?
Yeah, it was just
Mhm.
humbling. be so bad at something, but then it kind of turned into I started to get it a little bit like bit by bit, and then it just got to a point where I was like, I can't imagine myself spending my days doing anything else. Like when I had to take a break,
Really?
just yeah,
Why? Why? Yeah, that's why I'm doing the podcast. Why?
I guess because it gives my and I'm not saying it's therapy. If you need to go to therapy, you should totally go to therapy.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu. For me, I have very, very high functioning anxiety. I am probably genuinely one of the most ADHD adults that anyone has ever met, but it gives my mind calm and like peace. And it's so interesting to find that in something that's so chaotic as jujitsu that I find peace in a place where somebody's trying to choke me or somebody's trying to armbar me. It like finally let my mind breathe a little bit. And I'm such a busy person. I'm always overwhelmed. I'm teaching this and I'm teaching that and I'm doing this thing,
Yeah.
but jujitsu is the place that I come where I can just like okay, now I'm here and this is a different type of puzzle. And to me, it doesn't feel like chaos. It just, yeah, oh, I love it.
I guess it's not it's also like it's not work, you know? It's not like
Yeah.
a project. It's a personal project, but it's not like monetary, you know? I mean, of course, it's different if you own a place, but I'm just saying like the act in itself, it's
It's,
not like you can never change it into like, or this is going to be a product or what. A lot of
yeah,
Yeah,
times, like hobbies can turn into that.
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like about it so much, Mike?
Um, there's a lot, to be honest, but I think for me, I grew up playing sports and being in martial arts already at a really young age. And once you kind of get out of high school, for me especially, I joined the military. It's like you kind of need that camaraderie. You get that camaraderie in the military, but there's a different type of camaraderie on the mats. It's something unique about training with somebody, bringing somebody to like the brink of death, if you want to put it that way, but also
Yeah, however you want to label it. Yeah,
yeah,
pain.
you
Yeah.
just tap out and you're like, "Okay, you got me," and then you just kinda move on from there, you become best buds, and you, make each other better. So for me, it was like it kind of fulfilled this, like, emptiness inside of me, but I can't quite explain what that emptiness was, you know? I feel like I was always meant to do something more challenging, and, not saying that the military wasn't challenging at all, because of the military, I was introduced to jiu-jitsu. I ended up becoming a combatives instructor when I was military. I was a master instructor. And so it was like my full-time job when I was in the military. And then, um, because of all those things that I had when I was in the military, I came out and I've had all these tools where I was able to teach and eventually run a gym, my own program. But at a young age, I would say that it kept me busy. It kept me busy when I would potentially drift off into the bad things,
Trouble.
into trouble, exactly. And it kept me grounded. And I think I needed that. I needed something that was going to keep me grounded and keep me busy, but also make me work towards something, and also give me goals to work towards.
Mm. I think that's the most interesting thing to me is like the whys, and like the connection between, mind and body with jujitsu. You're saying that it gave you calmness, and how would that give you calm, right? I mean, that's an interesting thing. And then it filled an emptiness in you, but you don't know why, so that's intriguing as well, um, or maybe an emptiness that you didn't even know that was there. It just gave you something.
Yeah.
And so cool. And then okay, lead us back into like, you guys owning the place and starting the place and
Why do we start it or
why
uh,
did you start the academy and yeah, the story behind that.
I think it's always been my dream. Not always,
yes.
but since I started jiu-jitsu, even when we first met, I even told her, I
It's
was
the
like,
very first thing he said to me. It's one of my favorite questions when I meet people abroad is like, I'm like, okay, what's the dream? Like, if you could do anything, what do you want to do with your life? And everybody goes, oh, that's such a hard question. I don't know. And he said, ooh, well, when I get out of the military, he's like, I want to run a gym. I want to have my own academy. I want it to help veterans the way that it's helped me. And he like had this definitive answer, and I thought, oh, I'm in love. But I thought that was really cool because nobody can ever tell you. They're like, oh well, let me think about it, and it was instant. It was immediate. He's like,
Yeah.
this is what I meant to do. It's the only thing I feel like I was born to do.
yeah. And even when I was in the military, but as like I worked actively towards being coach and compete. I also competed like a lot. I competed a ton, so still compete. But and then as I kind of got older and I got out of the military, I still made an effort to work towards that goal. Like I was teaching classes at 5 a.m. when I was working, teaching class at 5 a.m. when I was working a full-time job. I was going to school full-time at some point, and then teaching and training and traveling every single weekend. Every weekend I would travel. I would go to competitions and either ref, set up the events, or work for the event in some way or another, right? And the weekdays were just for training, the weekends were for work, and then I went to school full time, and it's just kept chipping away at it, kept chipping away until one day that dream became a reality, and I had the opportunity to do it, and yeah, that was
That's
kind
a
of a
nice
catapult.
way of him putting that. He had a very good job that was paying really well, and he came home one day and he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm really stressed. I'm going to quit." And I've been in that position before because I'm a teacher and I'm always like, "I'm going to quit." And I say this every day and I'm not. So I
Okay,
just
okay. I was a teacher before as well,
okay.
so I know.
I figured he was like exaggerating, and then he went and talked to our friend Daniel, and he was like, "Well, I quit. I quit my job, and I talked to Daniel, and I'm opening a jiu-jitsu academy." And I was like, "All right, cool, let's do this." So
Well, how
that's
did you feel about that, Maggie, when he said that? Were you scared?
I
Were you like, "Are you nuts?" Or were you like gung ho?
honestly, I don't know. I bet on people that bet on themselves. So I've known that he wanted to do this forever. He was like really, really miserable. It was just a matter of time before he finally said like, "Okay, I'm going to go 100% into it." Cause I don't think you can go into owning a business like halfway. You
Yeah.
can't halfway anything that you have to put that much into. So when saw he
Yeah.
was kind of serious about it, I was excited. I knew we'd be working really hard for the first few
That's
years.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you had that mindset. Cool. So you let it happen. You're
Yeah.
all
I
good with
didn't realize how much involvement I would have, but yeah, I
Oh,
did. I
okay, okay.
love it.
So what was it like, Mike, when you started? Like, how did you get going, and what was it
At the
like,
beginnings? Yeah, the beginnings was, well, I started subleasing a really small space. It was like a one-car garage, like office space, and our really close friend, Melissa,
Black belt.
she's a black belt as well. She also teaches and train our academy. She was running like a women's kickboxing self-defense class at the time. So I think she offered me to actually, she gave me the opportunity. She offered it and I just took advantage of it. But she offered me to teach classes there a few times a week and then pretty much a sublease from her. And it was like, if you can imagine like a one-car garage, 9 months later, I've had enough students and enough money to put a down payment on a 1,200 square foot space, which was like a storage unit essentially for like cars that had no AC,
Mm,
no air
yeah.
circulation, no nothing. It had about 6 or 7 fans in there that were running all at once. You could barely hear anybody talk. We were there for a year, and the mats
Oh,
were made.
a
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
That's a long time.
we had a 1 year lease there, and the mats were like makeshift. I just got a bunch of like ripped up mats from one of my friends, and then I put a canvas
Oh
on top
yeah,
of
I
it. I put a
forgot about
white
that.
canvas on top of it just to clean it up. And that was our mats. It was probably like 600 square feet, something like that. It wasn't much. It wasn't very big, but it was big enough for us to run classes and start having classes every day and having kids classes every day. So then a year later, we made enough money, enough students to where we can then upgrade. And then we went into a 3,000 square foot facility. We had upgraded mats and wall mats, and we had a beautiful graffiti wall that one of our friends did for us. It was a nice
It
facility.
was, but we called it
Uh,
the Torres terrarium. It was so hot. The
yeah.
sun, it was like metal on the out.
Torres terrarium.
The sun was always beating on it. So it was like 110 degrees inside.
Yeah.
Like you could walk outside in July and it'd be cooler outside than it was in that gym. But
Oh
people,
my god.
And then now our facility that we're in now, we've been there for I guess going on 3 years now. Um, it's 5,000 square feet, fully m- big AC units. We have a big ass fan. We have
Talking
shower.
about the AC.
Yeah, we have 2 office
Want to
spaces.
point out the ACs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
the
Oh,
AC that he never wants to let us turn on.
yeah.
And so it's a joke in the
The
academy.
Oh
AC is
my
only on for the
god.
click boss. We want to
I'm
make sure
used to
it's
300
safe for everybody
degrees.
else.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. So
What was
the
it like, like getting people to go there? I mean, was it hard? Did it take a long time, or was it like kind of instant? What was it? What was the community like?
Mike, you mean in the first space or kind of, or
The next play, the yeah, the spec, yeah.
The
Next
second,
step up.
you know what? Mike he has not always been a man of many words. So actually, I was really excited when he agreed to this podcast. But one thing that he does really well is he's very authentic. And when he talks to people, especially about jujitsu, he would just say, "Hey, it's going to change your life. I think you should try it out." And it was just I think it was very compelling. I think it's actually how he kind of like convinced a lot of people around us to try it. He was like, "Hey, it changed my life. It might change your life too." I think it was just the genuine authenticity of it. And that's one thing I'm really proud of
Mm,
with the community is like, we have some world champions. That's not what we're most proud of. Like we're most proud of like the authentic community that we've built there and people who have real stories. And I think that's the part that Mike has always kind of leaned into. Like he looks at all these people and all the stories that he has and that they have, and he sees like potential in people sometimes before they even see it in themselves. And I think that made people want to be part of it. And I think that's why people keep coming back. And that is also a credit to the people in our gym because they've really created that type of community. And that's kind of brings back to the like original question about why. Jiu-jitsu is a community that's made up of stories, and I think people love stories. And I think the more you get to know the people in that community, I think the more compelling it is, and the more you want to be there, and the more you want to learn. So I think that's kind of all connected.
mm, because everybody's from different backgrounds, different ages.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I think I saw a meme the other day that said, jujitsu must be, was it a CIA experiment? The way that you'll have like pastors and like felons and you'll
Yeah.
have kids coaches and you'll have bodybuilders and you have all these different things. But it's true. There's so many people at our gym that I probably would have never encountered anywhere else in life. And I'm so grateful that I did because like anytime, like, especially I noticed this when we were moving gyms, right? And I was like, God, we don't know how to build this. We don't know how to do this. So we have this guy that's like, oh, I just built my own house with my bare hands. I'm going to come build this border for you. Or you have this person who's like, oh, I'm a painter. And it's like this really nice way for everybody to just be like a part of it and to be a part of the building too.
Yeah.
So
If y'all had to like thank jujitsu for something, one thing, what would each of you thank jujitsu for? One thing each.
let you go first.
Uh, I mean, I think there's so many things I could
There's
be
one right answer.
thankful for, but I think
Say
it's
the one I'm looking for. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Honestly, I think it's like and I keep saying this, but it really is it's our
What's the
community.
biggest thank you?
The
Yeah.
biggest thank you would be like our community. You know, it'd be um it's that we've done so well that we have a home and I have a family now. And I didn't grow up with like a whole lot of things, right? For me, like there was a point that me and my mom were living out of the car. We went from apartment to apartment, living with her siblings and things like that. So for me, it's like I went from being this child that didn't have a whole lot to now having my own son that I can offer the world to, and also
Yeah.
have a beautiful wife by my side who who supports me, you know, who's also very much like-minded, and because jujitsu, I wouldn't have met her otherwise. But to be honest, like jujitsu has given me a lot today, a lot of things to be grateful for. But the biggest thing is my family.
Mm-mm.
Stole my answer. That was much better than mine was going to be.
That's okay. You can have the same answer. Just go off on your
Yeah.
version.
Honestly, I think jujitsu. Okay, so on a community level, jujitsu has given me some of the best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. People that I think that even like long after we're not doing jujitsu anymore. And I was gonna say that I thought about it. I was like, actually, we're probably gonna be doing jujitsu forever. I think we'll be doing it till we're old. But people that I wouldn't have known otherwise that I've connected with that just brought into my like perspective and my worldview. And then on a kind of selfish level, I think from the time that I was like 26 to now, I think jujitsu has given me this like absolute confidence that I do not think that I would have had before, even like playing rugby and even doing all these things. Not that if I get into a street fight, I'm going to beat somebody up. I think the more you train, the less you need to do things like that. But I think it's kind of given me a confidence that if I need to, I can protect myself. And I love that. Like, I think for women, that's really essential. So one of the other reasons that I started jujitsu, before that, I had been attacked. And I think it had taken a lot more confidence from me than I realized. And so I think that is why jujitsu was initially so hard for me. I was like, I don't want to be in these terrible positions. I don't want to have to fight out of this position. But jujitsu really taught me that, like, well, actually, no, you do want to be able to fight out of these positions. You do need to be able to fight, and you need to be able to get up, and you need to be able to put yourself in a better place. And I kind of just expected it would teach me self-defense, but I think it taught me a lot more than that. It's helped me through some of the most difficult phases in my life. It helped me through an incredibly difficult pregnancy with lots of complications, which thankfully my son is fine, and also training. It saw me through the death of my father, through like life changes. It's been like the one thing that's been so consistently good in my life. Um,
Mm. Do you think either one or both, you can answer this, but do you think knowing jujitsu kind of like helps you prevent a fight from happening,
yeah.
prevent yourself from getting swept into a fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it teaches self-control, but also your body language in general. Like now, when I look at people I can tell who's trained and who's untrained by their reaction to things. Like actually, the people who train more often than not are not the people starting issues. They're the people saying, "Hey, man, I don't want to have to engage. I don't want to have to do this." The most controlled and the most like the safest, but also the most violent, like people that I know all do jujitsu. They have this great capacity for violence that they never really have to arrive at. And I think for me, that is a very, very powerful form of self-control.
What do y'all like providing the most to your community there? You understand my question? What
Yeah,
is
I
the
think
thing that you like providing the most to your community?
it's great, like a safe space for our community, our students. You know, there's no like weirdness or there's no. I wouldn't say our academy is like cliquey in any other way. Everyone is treated very equal. Everyone is like a strong part of the gym. Um, it's it could be competitive or it could be for you. It could be competitive for you or it cannot be competitive for you. It can but I think for the most part it's we provide, I would say, very good true jujitsu, like authentic jujitsu,
Mm,
uh, while also providing a very competitive, safe, and hardworking space.
I like that.
mm, 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 mm. So something for everybody kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, thank you guys for your cool story. I loved hearing it. It's fun talking to you
absolutely.
guys. To wrap it up, what would you like to say to to the people that go to your academy? Would you like to say anything to them?
Thank you guys. We love you. Thank you for showing up during the summer. Nobody wants to train in the summer. This summer, everybody was on the mats. It was great, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very humbling to see that how many people trust us from where we started in that one car garage to like where we are now. I'm very, very grateful for everybody in our community.
Yeah,
Mm.
same.
You seem like really good people. Thank you so much for being on what you're doing in your community. Um, and you guys are on Facebook, of course. Are you guys on Instagram or anything else as well?
Yes,
Yes.
we are. We are Torres Brazilian Jiu Jitsu on Instagram.
Yeah. And
Cool.
my personal Instagram is at Torres BJJ, and hers is, what is it?
Maggie Moo BJJ.
Maggie
Yeah.
McGee.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, thank you guys so much. And you're just north of Houston, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the city called?
Spring,
Torres?
Texas.
It's kidding.
It's Torres, Texas.
Torres.
Well, to end on that note, Spring, Texas. I get it. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. The Torreses. Thank you so much. All right.
Hey,
All right,
thank you,
Cody.
Cody.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Have fun in your terrarium. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.